when you really look at it, what they can do now, I don't know if anybody's been watching the news, what they can do now is they can manufacture fully functioning sperm in a lab using stem cells. We're doing this because, of course, the sperm count's down, so we need to do this. Well, why is the sperm count down? Because you're packaging all the food in plastic, which leaks estrogen into the food, which kills male sperm, of course. So it's all done by design, you know. So they're now able to manufacture sperm in a lab, fully functioning sperm, okay, using stem cell technology. And what they're also able to do, what they're working on, is artificial wombs. They call them ectogenesis chambers. So you think about it. Recently, in Australia, there was the food regulators or the health department, someone, I don't know, I'm a bit vague at the moment, but one of the regulators was looking into the food and found nanotechnology in the food. Why is there nanotech in popular sauces and dressings and cereals and stuff like this? And you can guarantee, folks, if it's in Australian food, then it's in American food. It'd be everywhere. So if there's nanotech in the food and they're spraying nanotech in the skies and they're putting in all these smart grids everywhere and you're an electromagnetic being and it all runs off electromagnetism, where are they going with all this? What if you can create human beings from the ground up? Artificial DNA, they're creating all of this sort of stuff. So what if you can create a human being not by just modifying us the way they were doing, the way I talked about in transformation, which is quite possible, which they're also doing. What if they're able to do it from the ground up? What if you can grow your own human beings like they did in Brave New World, only from the ground up? So you can have, okay, here's our worker people, here's our scientists, here's our school teachers, here's our this, here's our that, here's our women that we breed just for eggs, for the ectogenesis chambers. That would be about all you'd need women for, would be to harvest eggs. And of course they'd be bred to believe this was a beautiful life that they were doing and this is what they're for. And they have to be kept away from the rest of society to keep pure or whatever you want to do. Put them in a temple the way they did in the Roman days, you know, the Vestal Virgins, all that sort of stuff. There's any way they can do this, but what they're able to do with this technology is basically eliminate parents. So you think about yourself, what are you? You're a combination of the waters of your parents and the waters of their parents and their grandparents and right down the line. You find that you are the combination of all of the waters. Who you are, your soul, your personality, is the combination of all of the waters of all of your ancestors, because water has memory. Water has memory. You look at some of the work they've done with water, water clusters, how it all works. Water remembers every emotion it ever experiences. Everything it ever experiences is encoded in the water. That's like the RAM drive of the planet. And the waters of all of your ancestors and everything they experienced and every emotion they had is all in that water that created you. What happens when you take that away? What happens when you create an egg and an artificial sperm cell and you create a new human? What is it? Would it have the same soul? Would it be the same as us?
A robot.
What would it be? It'd be a person, but would it be a person? And if you're growing these people yourself, where's the conscience with what you have to do with these people? You grew them. They're yours. So you see where they're going with all this. You see where they can take it. And when you see those who control this world, you think they'd like to do something like this? Damn straight they would. You know, so you've got most of society gradually weeded out through all the diseases they're implementing and introducing, through all the drugs and the food and the fluoride that they've got us subject to. And they gradually bring in all of these little things to fix the problems, like artificial sperm, because the sperm count's going down. We need ectogenesis chambers because too many women are having miscarriages now. And, yeah, we want to keep our figure and all of this sort of stuff. So you promote that it's all about the look, you know, the exaltation of youth. You can't get old, you can't get a wrinkle, you can't look like this beautiful person on the TV or you're a lesser person, you know. And if you weren't given all these parameters to judge yourself by, well, why would you judge yourself as anything but perfect anyway? Because you're all perfect. You all came here to be you. Every single one of you came here to be who you are. With whatever flaws you may perceive you have, you need those flaws, which aren't really flaws at all. They're just what you need to have the experience from that perspective, which is needed. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So you came here to be you. And with all of what you may perceive as flaws, You know, I really believe that this is a computer, a biological instrument, and my DNA is tuned to a certain frequency that plucks Max from the field. And I experience that one frequency of universal conscious through these eyes as Max. And you pluck another one from the field that you experience as you. But it comes from the same place. There's really only one of us here, experiencing the world from all these billions and billions of different perspectives. All of us, you know. And when you can really see that in yourself, all the barriers break down with people. Suddenly you can look at people and you can go, wow, what's life like from that perspective? Because you are me. But really we've got a choice, folks, whether we want this or whether we want this. And the problem is that we see this coming, we see this being created around us, and we look for those who created the problem to try to fix it. We go to our governments to try to get help. And they don't really help us. They help the guys who sponsor them, which is not us. And the problem with doing that, of course, you know, like we vote people in, we vote people out. We even might want to try to form political parties of our own and get involved in the political system. But really it's the political system that created all the problems. It really did. The only hope we've really got for this political system is to enter it with the idea of reducing it to the point of non-existence. You know, we've really got to reduce government to the point where we don't need government at all. You know, and we, as a society, try to look at it, try to deal with it. We try to go to the government for help, and of course we end up like this. That's what they do. You want some help? Okay, have some of these, have some medication, we'll look after you, it's all fine. You know, that's what they do. So, but what we got here, folks, what we got is a system of people farming. That's what we have. People in and resources in, people out, money to the profiteers. That's the way it goes. And we all know how it's done. The education system, they turn creative thinkers into little drones. They send them out there, they get them caught in the credit trap. They teach them what to think. They end up in massive bills and stressed out, and they carry that debt around with them for the rest of their lives, and they sit back and pretend to enjoy it. And this reality that we've got now, we've created it. We've created it ourselves. All this mess that we're in, we've created it. Mainly by our preoccupation with other things, which is what this society is very, very good at doing. Giving us all sorts of stuff to entertain ourselves with, so we don't really pay attention to our life. Very often we're living other people's lives vicariously through the television set. You know, when you watch television, you know, you get these shows that you like, these people that you like, and these things that you like to identify with, and you watch that, and you watch these shows, and you feel at ease, and you feel comfortable that you've done all these things, but you didn't. You just sat there and watched it. And what's the one thing that people on the television aren't doing while you're watching them? Watching television. That's what they're not doing. That's what our society is, folks. And we wonder why we're in the mess that we're in. We don't participate in the world. We participate in the television world. We think we know what's going on in the world without actually ever going out and seeing it, because the television tells us what's going on. The world isn't like that at all. How many exotic diseases have we seen manifest in the world in the last 70, 80 years? Everything has gone wrong with the human race. The pharmaceutical industry has just gone off the charts, profiting from people. Everyone's dying of cancer. They've got better ideas for us. They can put medicine in the sky. That's what they're doing now in Australia. They want to spray lithium in the sky. Isn't that good? Keep everybody happy. What they're doing to our kids. The electromagnetic radiation we're swimming in. Everything they're doing and the way they've educated people lately. That's been really good as well. You know, because this is the world that they've created. This is the world we've let them create. So they've created the reality for us. They've created our reality because they know that we create our own reality. Well, hang on. The nanny state will do it for you. We'll create your reality. We'll look after everything for you. And we'll keep you safe at the same time. We'll fix your teeth for you. We'll give you this stuff. This will keep you thinking clearly as well, of course. You know, fluoride is now registered as a neurotoxin. It's been listed as a neurotoxin by the Lancet. The world's leading peer-reviewed medical journal has officially classed fluoride as a neurotoxin, folks. So you might want to ask your government what they're doing, putting it in your toothpaste and all this stuff. And all the stuff they're putting in your food. You know, what they're doing, this is how they're getting to us. This is how they're keeping people stupid. This is why people don't notice what's going on. People aren't getting nutrients from their food, GM food. If you really look at GM food, you find it causes sterility in 3 generations. All the animals that they've tested GM food on, it causes sterility in 3 generations. It's all about depopulation, folks. That's what GM food is about. They can give you food that looks good, tastes great, makes you big and fat, but doesn't give you any nutrients. Gives you all these cancers, gives you all these problems, all these thyroid problems, all these issues that you develop later in life. They're modifying the human race is what they're doing. But it's knowing the state that you're in, knowing that it's an emotionally based reality, and really there's only two spectrums and the extremes of those two spectrums, which is love and fear. That's it, really. You can call it black and white, up and down, whatever you want. Emotionally, it's love and fear. So really, if you're in a state of love, what are you in? You're in a state of not fear. That doesn't mean you're warm and fuzzy. It means you're not afraid to be yourself, not afraid to speak your mind, not afraid to be who you are. You know, but we're afraid to be who we are. Even when we try to address the system, we try to address the system, not the people within the system. Because it's just people. It's just men, just women, just people like you. Nobody has any more value than anybody else. But the problem is, you know, we see legislation is put in place by the ministry of whatever, and we go for the ministry, not the person who sat in the office in the ministry that wrote the legislation. We don't have the not fear to go and talk to that individual. And because we always put band-aids on symptoms for all of these things. You know, we see an issue that the government creates, like a mining company or a fracking well or something. We go to protest the well, which is good. We need to do that. We need to block the well. We need to stop it happening. But it's no good point really doing that and going protesting the mining company and doing all these sorts of things. We need to go and address the legislation that allowed the mining company to come and do what it's doing. So it's addressing things in the right way. Because if we don't, folks, this is where we're going. This is where we're going, and that's not real good if we're not already there. Of course, they're doing it. How have they done it? All they've done it through the war on terror, haven't they? That's how they've managed to get rid of all our rights and take all of our rights away. How they managed to bring on the police state and everything through the war on terror. It's a war to take all of our rights away from us. And, of course, what you got is this, and the result is about the level of our freedom at the moment. That's about how close we are to losing everything. That's about the state of human consciousness, I think, at the moment. Although it is waking up. People are waking up. A lot of people are waking up. But how did it get this way? It got this way because people believe what the media tells them they believe. We don't want this world they're creating, folks. We don't want to be able to do. We don't want to let them do this. But this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing because we're letting them do it.